Hello everyone, we will be starting the session now. Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Dear authors and invited guests, welcome to the technical session 5B. Myself Anshika Jain and this session would be moderated by me. I, on the behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation and GR Scholastic LLP, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the 10th International Congress on Information and Communication Technology ICICT 2025 London, UK. The 10th edition of the conference is being organized in a hybrid mode. The physical event was held yesterday in London, UK, and the virtual event is being held through Zoom from 19 to 21st February 2025. I hope you will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive sessions throughout the day. In this session, we will have 6 presentations, and each presenter will be given 12 minutes for the presentation and 3 minutes for the questions and answers. On 10 minutes, I will raise a very gentle reminder. There is another request to all the participants that you stay connected with us till the closing remarks. If you have any queries or any updates, then you can write it to me in the chat box below. Just before we get started with the session, I would like to introduce you all to the chair for this session. We have Dr. Kayoko Yamamoto. Ma'am is a professor at University of Electrocommunications, Japan. She has been a visiting professor at Tokyo University of Agriculture and Technology since October 2019. Her expertise is in social system engineering, spatial information science, urban and regional planning, environmental science, and natural disaster. Welcome to the session, ma'am. Would you like to share a quick opening remark with us?
Thank you very much for your gracious introduction. And I'm Professor Kayako Yamamoto, and I'm looking forward to listening to our presentation in this session. Enjoy this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would also like to introduce you to Dr. Sayan Chakrabarti. Sir is currently working as an assistant professor in the Department of CST, JISS College of Engineering, Kalyani, West Bengal, India. His research area includes medical image processing, natural inspired algorithms, and machine learning based applications. Sir has about 65 research papers published in the international journals, book chapters, and conferences on various topics such as optimization, artificial intelligence, pattern recognition, and digital image processing. Welcome to the session, sir. Would you like to share a quick opening remark with us?
Yeah, thank you, Anshika. Thank you for inviting me to the session. I'll be looking forward to all the presentations. Yeah, let's get it started quickly. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. So now we will be starting with the papers. First, we have Mithil to present the paper titled Automated Detection of Potholes and Speed Bumps Using Deep Learning. Are you there?
Yes, just give me 1 second.
Yeah, sure.
Good morning, everyone. I am Mithil Mistry, and today I am excited to present our research on automated detection of potholes and speed bumps using deep learning. Road anomalies such as potholes and speed bumps present significant safety hazards and financial burdens worldwide. Governments and organizations spend millions of dollars annually on road maintenance, yet potholes remain undetected until they cause accidents or vehicle damage. Our objective is to develop an automated detection system using deep learning. Specifically, we use CNNs for object detection, employing efficient net, a lightweight yet powerful deep learning model known for its high accuracy and efficiency. The model is trained on real-world image datasets to enhance its performance in various road conditions. Why is this research important? The economic and safety impact of poor road conditions is staggering. In the US alone, pothole-related vehicle damage cost an estimated $3 billion annually. On a global scale, unsafe road conditions contribute to approximately 1.35 million deaths each year. Existing methods for detecting road anomalies, such as manual surveys, require significant time and resources. Sensor-based systems are another alternative, but they can be expensive and are limited to specific vehicles. Deep learning provides a scalable, cost-effective solution by automating anomaly detection and enabling real-time road monitoring. We analyzed several existing approaches for road anomaly detection. Here's a comparison of different models used in previous researches. YOLO V3, which relies on vehicle-mounted cameras, achieves a 92% accuracy, but struggles with varying light conditions. VGG16 CNN model, applied to drone-based imaginary, has 88% accuracy, but is computationally expensive and slow. Accelerometer-based models using sensor data provide an accuracy range of 85 to 90%. However, they lack image verification and tend to generate false positives. Faster, RCNN trained on synthetic data achieves 90% accuracy but requires extensive data augmentation to handle data scarcity. Our research improves upon these models by optimizing performance, reducing computational cost, and ensuring robust detection in real-world environments. Our study is driven by four main objectives. Develop an accurate and scalable system that utilizes machine learning and deep learning models for automated anomaly detection. Compare and optimize different approaches, specifically CNN models versus traditional machine learning models. Enhance real-time detection by training the model on diverse data sources, ensuring adaptability to different environmental conditions. Improve road safety by providing real-time alerts and enabling automated maintenance planning. For training, we utilize the pothole and speed breaker dataset 400B from RoboFlow Universe. This dataset contains over 3,000 labeled images with a balanced mix of potholes and speed bumps. The dataset includes images captured under different lighting, weather, and road conditions, ensuring model robustness. Each image is precisely annotated with bounding boxes, making it suitable for object detection tasks. To maximize model efficiency, we applied various pre-processing and augmentation techniques. Image pre-processing. We resized all images to 224 into 224 pixels and normalized pixel value to the 0:1 ratio. Range augmentation. We applied rotation, brightness, flipping, shearing, and zoom transformations to diversify training samples. Class imbalance handling. To prevent bias in detection, we computed class weights to ensure balanced training across potholes and speed bumps. We designed our model using efficient net, which is known for its high performance and minimum computation cost. The architecture consists of feature extraction, a global average pooling 2D layer is used for dimensionality reduction while retaining important features. Classification head. We implemented three dense layers with ReLU activation, dropout, and L2 regularization to prevent overfitting. Output layer. A final sigmoid activation function is used for binary classification. Our model achieves strong results across various performance metrics. Validation accuracy, 91.91%, indicating high reliability in real-world detection. Precision, 89.23%, meaning the model has a low false positive rate. Recall, 90.45%, showing the model successfully detects actual road anomalies. F1 score, 89.84, balancing both precision and recall for optimal classification. The model demonstrated several strengths: high accuracy in detecting both potholes and speed bumps, computational efficiency due to efficient net's light weight structure, robust detection across various environmental conditions. However, we also identified some challenges. The dataset is limited in size, which affects generalization to new road conditions. Some edge cases, such as partially obstructed potholes, impact detection. We need to test deployment on mobile devices to ensure real-time usability. Moving forward, we aim to expand our system with several enhancements. Dataset expansion. We will collect additional real-world images to improve model accuracy. Localization. Integrating GPS will allow precise mapping of detected road anomalies. Deployment. We plan to develop a mobile application for drivers and a cloud-based API for government agencies. multimodal approach. By combining image-based detection with sensor-based methods, we can further improve accuracy and reliability. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Ma'am and sir, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
Uh, yeah, Mithil, it was a nice presentation, first of all.
Thank you, sir.
I have few questions regarding to the data set. Can you give us some insights about the data set? What was the size of the data and where did you collect it from? That is the first question. And my second question would be that we have noted down your system's accuracy, F1 score, all of these things. But have you compared it with existing literature that you have, previously mentioned in the slide? These are the two questions. I'll be happy to get some answers. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So for the first question, the data set we collected from RoboFlow Universe, it's a data set site like Kaggle. It consists of around 3,100 images, and the total size of data set in GBs is around 11 GB.
Okay, okay.
And as for the accuracy, yes, we compared the accuracy and we found that most of the systems have less accuracy than our system.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for your presentation. So we'll be moving on to the next presentation. Next, we have Ishan Bhattacharya to present the paper titled Detecting Satire in Multimodal News Content. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. You may please begin with your presentation.
Okay. Wait, I'll just screen share. Oh, yeah, is the screen visible? I'll just switch to.
Yeah, the screen is visible.
Yeah, so yeah, is the screen visible with the title and everything?
Yeah, the screen is
Okay.
visible.
Okay. Okay. Greetings, everyone. I'm Ishan, one of the authors of Writing Satire and Multimodal News Content, and I'll be conducting this presentation on behalf of my fellow co-authors from PS University. First is an outline of how I would be going about in the presentation. Now, firstly, to start with, what is satire? Now, satire is essentially a way of ridiculing a certain social phenomenon in society, which is which is common, like something which is kind of accepted in society, which happens in society, and it requires a person to have some background knowledge on certain cultural references, cultural norms to understand it. Furthermore, one more thing which satire relies on is something which is known as incongruity resolution. Now, what is incongruity? I will talk about that in the next slide, next few slides. And so essentially, this is satire where we say use literary tools to point out some kind of flaw, some kind of vice in society and cultural norms, and to encourage the target to change for the better. Now, what is this incongruity I speak about? So, incongruity is essentially like a phenomenon where, say, you expect something to happen, but it doesn't happen. Now, like, and normally as humans, whenever we read a sentence, say, for example, you would expect that, okay, when I read the initial part of a sentence, I would expect that, okay, this is what will come next. But this expectation being subverted is what is known as incongruity. This expectation being replaced by something else, leading to a twist in what we expect. Essentially, what is incongruity, and this leads to surprise, humor, irony, and overall, it's kind of an important part of satire in most cases. And this is an important why? Because this is what we use primarily in our proposed research work to model satire, and this is where we focus on heavily. Let's take an example to understand incongruity in satire. So let the sentence be new fitness app counts the number of times you thought about working. So when I started the sentence, we all had some expectation in our head of how it would go, but we realized it didn't go the way we thought. So example, in this case, the setup would be new fitness app counts the number of times with the beginning part of the sentence. Now we would expect it to be something related to health or fitness that okay, went to the gym, went for a walk, something. But this it went into an entire joke about how people procrastinate on their own fitness and procrastinate on like going to a gym. And that's where the punchline was actually thought about working. This is what incongruity means. We had expectation of something, but the punchline was something else, and what actually happened was something else. And this is the whole concept of incongruity. What is the gap in research we try to address? So first of all, most models which try to model satire and try to understand satire by means of like machine learning or any kind of computational methods, they mainly deal with text. They don't account for multiple modalities, even though multiple modalities are fairly common in satire. There are a lot of online sources of satire which use both text and images complement each other to like kind of act as satire, right? So most researchers don't do that. Furthermore, like a lot of them just focus on this satire as a just in general without going into much in depth. But even though incongruity is an important part of it, and but we need to model incongruity to understand. As a result of these two things, a further limitation which ends up coming is that it relies on very specific features and not getting a broader context, such as the interplay of image and text, as well as incongruity resolution to more accurately detect satire. Now, there's a reason why it is this is why the research gap exists because satellite content is very difficult to detect, especially in multiple format. Now we aim to address that by leveraging both global knowledge as well as local knowledge within the text to get a better understanding, and furthermore also add incongruity to it to kind of get a better understanding of satellite content, which is hard to understand even for humans. So, which is why we try to get a detailed structure of how it can be done, and we go ahead, and that is our main research study. That is the main thing which we propose. And by integrating everything together, we get a better understanding of multimodal satirical content. Now, here's an understanding for data set. So we have sampled the data set from the true news are sampled from the fake-edit data sets, a set of fake-edit data set which corresponds to the true news labels. They've got its satirical news from a publicly available data set on Zenodo, which has sampled its satirical news from multiple sources, most notably Babylon.B, to get multiple satirical news. So you can understand how the data set structures the text. So it'd be the image, the link of the image, and the label of corresponding to whether it is satirical or not. Now, let's have a walkthrough of kind of how our main novel incongruent resolution processes work. So say we have an image and a text. You can just get an understanding of it by yourself. And so firstly, we go by splitting the text into two halves. Oops, apologies. Yeah, split the text into two halves, which is the setup and the punchline, right? Now, the idea of this is we use the first half of text to predict the punchline. And we hypothesize a bigger contrast between predictor and actual punchline would indicate incongruity and would help us model satire. Now, now let's see what happens next, right? So here now we take the image. So let the image, now as you can see the image of the text. So to analyze the image, we use Google's Cloud Vision API, which essentially has a bunch of tools to better understand image overall and understand. So there it uses a multitude of tools to understand different parts of the image, and we use very specific entities we extract from it, which are landmarks, familiarities, and logos. Now, see, landmarks is not really a geographical location of the image, they are not. Web entities, Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, Facebook itself, Facebook logo, and a few other standard jet logos like the banner, mic, and other things, right? These are the ones which we take into importance. From there onwards, what do we do is extract entities. How do we get the background knowledge? We take them, we pass it into an instance of Gemma with a prompt to get the background knowledge of all of these entities. And that's how we essentially get the background knowledge of the entities. Now, for example, say this would be the following. So, yeah. Now, the following would be the a kind of how the output would come, right? So this is how you get a lot of related keywords as well as short description, just to get a basic idea of what all entities are. Now we take all of these entities, that response we got, and give the initial part of the sentence. And here we again use a different instance of Gemma, a tailor-made for next sentence prediction, and we try to finish the sentence. This is how we see it. We have a new sentence ready. Now we have our actual punchline and predicted punchline, and we try to compare them. Now, how do we compare them? We essentially take the two predicted part to actual part two. Use BERT, sentence BERT, and Google's universal sentence encoder to get the embeddings of each of them. And furthermore, we take the cosine similarity of each of these three embedding sets and then use that to essentially do binary classification by means of logistic regression. This is how the whole incongruent resolution process is our flagship process of the entire or a model which we make is used. Now I'll go into the models which we have used and how it integrates into our final model. Firstly, our first model, which is just purely based on global knowledge. We use bootstrapping language image training from Salesforce to get 3 sets of embeddings from the image text pair. And we pass it into an elaborate neural network for to binary classification to predict the output class satirical or non-satirical. This is some results. As you can see, it's important to note the results of the blip model, which will come into reference. So this is where the baseline model, this is what the baseline model would give us, just basically using an existing model, which is blip and blip2. And this is what we would get. Now, this is how you can see a better overall structure of like an overall flowchart of what I described earlier, the in-concrete resolution process, where we use Cloud Vision API to extract entities from the image, and we use Gemma 1.1 for knowledge enhancement. At the same time, text is split into half, setup and punchline. And in the second instance of Gemma 1.12b, along with the knowledge enhancement and the setup, is used to give a predicted punchline. Then using embeddings, we get the embeddings of both of them. And then furthermore, we also use these embeddings to get the cosine similarity and finally use that for binary classification. And this is the accuracy. And there's a philosophy of why we've used all three embeddings together. So as you can see, the combination of the embeddings end up proving with better accuracy and better performance than either one of them by themselves. So as you can see, the embeddings complement each other and lead to a better performance. Now for a final model, we've integrated the two models which you've seen before, the blip model and the NSP model. Now we have the text embeddings, multi-modal embeddings, image embeddings. Then we have the cosine similarity values from the BERT embeddings, use embeddings, ads, and disparate embeddings. Combining all of them together into a neural network, and this together gives us the final output class. Using all of these and everything combined, essentially sort of doing a fusion of the two models, which we use BERT, and finally this gives the highest accuracy ever. As you can see, this model outperforms both of the models from before, including the blip model by itself. And by integrating incongruent into it, we have improved the accuracy of the blip model as well as the F1 score. The blip model, and that's where we see that is our main novelty which we've achieved. That is the main contribution to the research where we've improved the accuracy. And by this is 0.98, 98.8 or 98.7. So this is where our main improvement, this is the novelty of our research work. Conclusion, so as you can see, this was a innovative approach where we actually kind of modeled how the whole incongruent process would work in a human brain, where it would take some part of the beginning, understand the image, and try to kind of figure out what will come next. And actually overall model that using LLMs. And at the same time, then this way we incorporate both local knowledge and global knowledge. And with contextual knowledge, with an incongruent resolution, we overall get a step-by-step approach which performs better than any simple approach by using existing multimodal models. And as a result, we demonstrate the importance of incongruent resolution for understanding satire. Any future work. So at present, the current work is purely focused on classifying as yes or no, satirical or not. But our next step, which we can do, is predicting if, like, further going in depth into what kind of satire it is. They are humorous satire, and furthermore, among humorous satire, they're classified into garden path, red line, and crossroads, as noted by Martha et al. In understanding humor. One more thing, which is a factor, would we have used a lot of large language models and prompts with them. So there are some questions raised about reliability of prompts. And furthermore, advancements in LLM would lead to certain maybe newer and more powerful models which can improve performance. And so that might again obviously change our research work and change change how our entire model would work. Some of the references which we have used. So I thank you all for your time and attention, and I'm grateful to the organizers of ICICT for giving us the opportunity to present our research work. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Sir and ma'am, do you have any questions? So,
Yeah, I have a question, Ishan. Yeah, first of all, very interesting work you have done. Congratulations on that. I have a question that what is the role of that particular you have used that title multimodal news or something, right? What is multimodal in that? Can you explain a little bit?
Yeah. So I'll just go back to a couple of slides.
Yeah. There you can see that detecting satire in multimodal news content. So
Yes.
I'm just a little bit critical about the multimodality.
Yeah. So say as I want to go back. So with the example, so say the same in-memory resolution process, if I went about like just spreading the image didn't exist at all. So now if I go back, so setup was we are now higher, no need to apply, right? So by this line by itself is not going to give anyone any like, if that image was not there, it was just this text, it would just seem very normal. Like there won't be any kind of like thing which was there, which is like unique or not there. Like it just seemed like a normal sentence of text. But only like with the everything there, with like the image also there, it starts becoming satire. Like that text by itself would not, without this image or Mark Zuckerberg in it and the Facebook logo, like you don't understand the second part, we already have all your details. Without having this background knowledge of Mark Zuckerberg and the fact that Facebook is a data company and which has like what is considered not ideal privacy practices, we would have all of our details. This is the main idea of
Yeah,
multimodal. There are a lot of examples where the image, like the text by itself won't be satirical and you need the image to actually understand something.
okay. So is that the image and the text is being multimodal over here? Is that what you are referring to?
Yes. Yes, the image, there's
Okay.
one modality which is image, the other modality is a text.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. Thank you for presentation.
Thank you so much for your presentation. So we'll be moving on to the next presentation now. Next, we have James to present the paper titled Implementation of Motivational Qualities Within Serious Game Development. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you may please begin with your presentation.
Okay. Just need to send a request to share my screen, I see. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, thank you. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm James Ace, and I'll be taking us through the implementation of motivational qualities within serious game development. Just a brief introduction. So I'm sure everyone here has some experience with video games. Video games are interesting as there are some that keep a user engaged and they want to continue playing for extended amounts of time, and then those that players quickly get bored of. So there's also something called a serious game, which instead have an educational purpose. For these, it is crucial to keep the same level of engagement as normal games, as it is the only way to make an effective educational tool. So the purpose of the study was to figure out how to motivate users to keep playing a game like they would a normal game, even when its primary purpose is to be educational. So this led to the research question of how does the integration of motivational theories into the design of a serious game affect learner engagement? So the content, I'll be taking us through an introduction, a methodology, literature, artifact, and then the retained scoring that was used to evaluate the process, and then the conclusion. So for the introduction, serious games are increasingly used as learning tools, but face challenges in maintaining learner engagement. The purpose of this research was to aim and identify and integrate motivational drivers and educational elements into serious game design to enhance the engagement and learner outcomes. So the effectiveness of these elements being integrated was evaluated using the retained model towards the end. So the methodology was initially a literature study on educational models and motivational factors. The ADDIE model was used to develop the artifact. This means it was iteratively developed using the analyze, design, develop, implement, and evaluate process over time. So moving on to motivation theory. Motivation in learning is crucial for engagement, especially in serious games. There are two types of motivation, mainly intrinsic, that are driven by enjoyment and satisfaction, and then extrinsic, that are driven by rewards and external outcomes. The three fundamentals that we looked at that came out of self-determination theory was competence. This is the feeling capable enhances motivation, and also that rewards can sometimes reduce interest. Autonomy, the ability to make choices yourself and independently. And then also relatedness, the social connection between other people. But this does play a secondary role compared to competence and autonomy in motivation. So some serious game characteristics that were identified as crucial as well was narrative context. So this is embedding educational content into the game story. Interactivity, balancing the player control with the structured storytelling, and then the rules and objectives. So just giving clear rules and objectives also to help define the game space. The retain model that was used for evaluation is a framework for designing and evaluating serious games, but in this case, it was just used to evaluate the serious game towards the end. The 6 key qualities are relevance, embedding, transfer, adaptation, immersion, and then naturalization. These will be covered a bit later when it is shown in the evaluation. So the artifact that was developed was a game that was developed in Unity and C#. It's a 2D serious game with coding puzzles. So it did have a storyline, a visually stimulating world, an overall goal to pursue, and music and sound, as these were some identified key elements. And then the gameplay flow went from a main menu, instructions pop up, and then the 3 challenges, showing 3 simple coding challenges, namely true and false statements, a loop puzzle, and then object attributes. At the end, the story is concluded, and then along the way, there's also some NPC interactions. Following is a short example of how the game did look to just show that the world was created and what was the result. Here's the first challenge where there's a tip given to the true and false statements. Once the things are solved, you can move on to the rest of the world. Along the way, there are also characters that you can interact with. Yeah, there's a couple of interactable characters as well. There's also mechanics to prevent progression further without solving the puzzles, without trying to force the user back entirely. So this is just a short example. And then moving on to the scoring. So for the retain model, I adapted the rubric slightly to just be a bit more relevant to here. It's based on Gunther et al.'s research. So the scoring is in 4 levels, namely level 0, 1, 2, and 3, and then criteria is attached to each one of them. So for relevance, the artifact fell under level 2 as the content and objectives are clearly defined. Level 3 is not obtained, however, as the challenges may not align with the learner's developmental level and the themes may not be familiar to all users. For embedding, it was between level 1 and 2, so as such, 1.5 would be an appropriate score. The challenges, although integrated within the story, are not entirely fitting to the world, and then the challenges are, however, presented in a way which integrates it with the story, at least, to cause progress as you solve them. For transfer, level 2 was also achieved, although the game is limited to 2D, which is a criteria that was initially in the rubric. The user does have visual cues when learner correctly completes a challenge. Problem-solving skills are required to move between the level. There is, however, a lack of after-action reviews to review what the learner has learned during the process. That is why it did not achieve a level 3. For adaptation, level 0 was achieved. This is due to the linearity and the length of the game. The challenges don't build on each other, so there is no opportunity to present for the learner to demonstrate what they learned previously and also to reinforce the learning that they've done. For immersion, level 2 was also achieved, although through the inward storytelling, the learner would be invested psychology to some extent in furthering the story. And there are also multiple interactable elements within the world besides the primary objective. However, the story is relatively simple and linear and also not the longest. So this prevents the level of immersion required necessarily for a user to continue for longer periods of time. And then for naturalization, it was also a score of 0. This was once again due to the limited duration of the game and its story. So there's no repetition and times to prove what was learned once again. So this was also a low score. So this was the final scoring. After adjusting for the weights and everything, it scored 32.5 out of 63, scoring 0 notably for adaptation and naturalization there. So the conclusion for the study was that it was examined how motivational drivers and key elements affect engagement and knowledge retention, evaluated using the retain model. So the key findings was integrating these elements gave strong scores for relevance, transfer, and immersion. So it indicated strong motivation, and then the lower scores were for adaptation, naturalization. However, these were due to the game length and repetition, so it was more the scope of the study. So future research suggested is the exploring of longer, more complex games, and also investigating additional motivational factors that might be useful to also improve adaptation and naturalization scores. And thank you very much. I've included my email at the bottom in case anyone does want to reach out with questions as well afterwards, as well as if someone wants to see the game, I can also send them a link to where that is hosted. Yes, thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you so much for your presentation. Ma'am and sir, do you have any questions?
Yeah, James, very nice presentation. I have a question. Uh, Regarding the future direction of this of your research, how you are planning to, apply it in other problem statements or maybe in other domains? Will it be applicable in other domains as well?
Carrying forward, yes, the motivational theories that were identified as they scored quite high here, they can be applied going forward. And looking forward, I'm going to be doing my master's as well now in the same direction. So I would like to also take the findings from this paper and carry it forward to that serious game too.
Yeah, that's great. Best of luck for that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
So we'll be moving on to the next presentation. Next, we have Lloyd to present his paper titled The Reskilling of Coal Miners in the Digital Age, a Quantitative Study. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You may please begin with your presentation.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Uh-huh.
Can you see my?
No, not yet. Yeah.
Can you see it?
Not right now. You have started sharing the screen, but we cannot see it. Yeah, we can see your screen. You may please begin with your presentation.
Okay. Yeah, it's on presentation mode. Yes. Like I said, my name is Lloyd Mudimukhale. I'm a PhD student at the University of South Africa. I've co-authored a paper together with my professors called "The Reskilling of Coal Miners in a Digital Age," a quantitative study. So this part of the research is where I did a survey to take to the coal miners just to get the understanding. So the whole background of this is I want to get an understanding of the impact of the fourth industrial revolution on coal mining, particularly in South Africa. And the importance of that is that a lot of coal miners employ a lot of unskilled laborers, right, or miners. And now with that said, the question is that when we mechanize and we introduce a lot of technology, what would that impact do in terms of the skills that are needed in the mine? So there's the background of the research, and I think the drive for digitalizing or mechanization of the mine is from a perspective of enhancing safety and also financial sustainability of the actual mine. And also the whole objective was just to get a perspective from a miner point of view. This forms part of a bigger research that I'm doing. So the quantitative part is just a component of that. And this is what I'm presenting here right now. So I used a quantitative approach to identify trends in the related mining from a digital perspective. Mine was located, I identified a coal mine which has implemented some digitalization. This mine is located in the mining belt, which is a province in South Africa called Mpumalanga, in a municipality called Malakane. So how I went about collecting the data, I used Google Forms and distributed physical questionnaire, printed questionnaires, because some of the miners did not have access to the computer or did not want to use a computer, but or their phones. They wanted to actually have a physical paper. There were 111 participants who participated in the study, and descriptive statistics was used to analyze the results of the survey. So I'm just going to take you through some of the results, just highlighting some of the key things of importance. The first one that the question that we asked was, we tried to establish how long has the participants been working at that particular mine. And 42.7% of those participants were fairly new into that mine, meaning that they were younger and while 20% were 20.8% were between 5 to 10 years. Then the others were 11 to 20. So, but what I like about this is that there's a nice balance between the new miners and the older miners. Then in terms of the issue of the education level, because I wanted to establish what level of education do they have, because typically the assumption is that they're uneducated, So it was very interesting to find out that bulk majority of the miners actually had some level of education, because if you look at from the purple color, which is saying matric, a lot of them, about 70, actually, let me just double check the number. It's about 71% of them had a matric, which is very important. It says that they can read and write, and they have had some level of higher education, right? Only a few did not, which are, if you add up the green part and the smaller other parts, they will give you around 21%, which are the ones that did not have, formal, higher education. Then the other question, which was trying to figure out from which area within the mine, because we were trying to track we are trying to interview people who are involved in the actual process of the mining, the extraction process, right? And these are some of the areas that were highlighted by the actual miners. We categorize those areas into three main areas. The supporting area, which represent about 59%, and the safety area, which represented about 12%. Then 29% was the ones who were involved, who went down to the actual mine and extracted the actual coal mine. And out of that, we wanted to find out what type of skills do they have. About 41% of them, their skills were around conducting maintenance, right? Then it was followed by conducting safety. And I think the issue of safety is a very important aspect, and particularly to this particular mine that I went, and hence they're adopting a technology. You can even see in terms of how much a percentage they spend on safety. Then about 26% were from an operational perspective. then the others were troubleshooting. In terms of the issue of how do you know about digital tools, or do you know anything about the digital tools? It came up, only a few percent did not have a clue about digital tools, but the bulk majority, which is the 43.7 and the 10.4, they knew somewhat about digital, which was positive, because the thinking was that probably they do not know. So it was a very positive gathering. Then in terms of what training or education have you received to develop this? So you can see that interestingly enough, the red part, right, 46.9% of them, they learned a lot of these digital skills at work. Then followed by 22% from formal education and training. Then about 8% in terms of they learned that from doing online courses. Then in terms of how confident are they in terms of the ability to use this digital? Also, this was very interesting because bulk majority of them, they were very confident in using. Only a few were not that confident, which also was a good, revelation. And then in terms of how important do they believe the development of developing of digital skills for the job, how important is that? An overwhelming 61.5% of them, they said it's very important, and followed by 26%, which if you look at that, it's a huge chunk of them who truly believe that it's important to learn these new skills and to adapt into the new world. In terms of what do you think are the most important skills required for a coal miner in the digital era? What they have highlighted, and also this particular graph, they could select multiple. It was not select only one. They could select multiple. So on this one, the two that really came across very high was the technical skills and the maintaining of digital equipment, then communication skills and collaboration with colleagues, that really came high. Computer skills were about 40%. Then in terms of the other question which we asked, how do they think the introduction of digital technology will impact the coal industry? Again, this one, they could select multiple. A lot of them did highlight that it will make the mine more efficient, right? And then the other one, those ones that I've highlighted in the other one that popped out was mine safety. So it collaborates then with the objective why there's a huge push into mechanization and digitalization of the mine. So those two are coming across. And also, by the way, remember, this is from the perspective of the miner, not necessarily of the leadership of the mine. So it's quite interesting from that perspective to see that what the industry is driving, the miners are actually getting to realize and feel. Also on this question of what type of reskilling programs do they believe would be most effective to help them? It was quite interesting that both of on the job training and formal education, they were rated equally as important. Then in terms of the support, how supportive is the leadership of the mine in this transition should be? a bulk majority, an overwhelming majority said they believe that it's very important to have a supportive leadership in this transition. So the key findings again is that effective skills method, they preferred online on the job training and formal education, and also what was crucial was the crucial for successful training was the leadership. Then government and industry support was also important. It was highlighted that policies are needed that will enhance this, and also the impact of the digital technology. It was positively taken by the miners. Only about 37% of them had a fear that they would lose their jobs. So it was a positive, take away from that. In conclusion, there's a need for reskilling. There's a positive outlook on this, and the future implementation of it's important to have strong leadership. Thank you very much. Those are the references.
Thank you. Aman sir, do you have any questions?
Yes. Thank you very much for your very interesting presentation. What is the most serious problem for coal miners in the digitalization of their work?
Sorry, I could not.
Okay.
Can you repeat?
What is the most serious problem for coal miners in the data? What is the most serious problems?
What is the most serious problems that
yes, for coal miners?
For the coal miners?
Yes.
Look, like I said, for me, it was very surprising that I had thought the fear of losing the jobs would be high, but it was taken in positively. It was very interesting. So yes, we have about 37% who are scared, but also the thing is that the reskilling and the support of the organization, I think is the key thing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, do you have any questions?
Yeah, Mr. Lloyd, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, right? Yeah. So I have a question that how many people participated in your whatever the result you have presented? It was a sort of survey, right?
Yeah, it
Or
was a survey.
did you get that? Yeah. So how many people participated in this survey?
111 participants, but obviously, as you can see, some did not answer the questions. Certain questions you'll see it's 111, certain question you'll see it's 97. So it depends how many people answered. The questions were not, forced.
Yeah, I have another question that you have presented different, different results you have presented, but what was the correlation between them? For example, you began with the level of education or the amount of education people have got over there. Like it was around 77% who could read and write who are working as coal miners, and then you went on to the analysis of other things of the coal miners, like how many people know how to use the digital tools. So are there any correlation between this sort of data or analysis that you have presented in your presentation?
Yes, there is a correlation. I mean, a lot of these the results talk to each other. For example, when you look at the high education level and the fact that we are having a positive outlook on digitalization, there's one correlation. The other one is also in terms of the usability of the digital tools. It was quite high. The take up was quite high. So for me, it correlates to the higher education. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to get to. Thank you for your answers.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Yes, Dr. Lario, do you have any questions?
Yes. Good afternoon, Lloyd Dumela. Lloyd, I just wanted to find out from you. as you were looking at all the digital technologies for these miners, did you ever explore in the virtual reality part and the augmentative reality in terms of you having to see and address those miners with less literacy? I'll tell you what, understanding the background of these miners as well, that we have actually few sets that there are those ones who are completely not learned at all, or what we call it illiterate. So I think the embedding of knowledge in that regard of bringing the virtual reality of something that is simulated environment would be doable. That is going to then close the gap, the current existing gap that we are facing with the lack of technological adoption. So I would then advise that please bring forth that, a bit of it, for the reader to understand where you are coming from and where you are going, so that it brings balance between the illiterate and the literate ones. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. So we'll be moving on to the next presentation. Next, we have Lydia to present the paper titled The Role of Influencers in the Information Consumption of Young People in Portugal. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Yeah.
Lydia is my teacher. I will do the presentation, okay?
Be like giving the presentation on her behalf?
Yeah. The
Okay.
teacher, the article is on the teacher name, and I will do the presentation, okay?
Okay. You are the co-author. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
So you may please begin with the presentation.
Okay, 1 second, please. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can. You may please begin.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. I want to thank you for this opportunity to be here today. I will start to presenting me. My name is Mafalda Reis. I'm graduating University of Aveiro, and today I will present to you the article that I wrote about the results of my master's degree dissertation, who has the name The Role of Influencers in Information Consumption of Young People in Portugal. Therefore, the research question is exactly and clearly, what role do influencers play in young people's information consumption in Portugal? I will start to presenting some ideas from the theoretical framework, and it's important in the context of the interaction between young people and influencers that they follow on social media. It's important to explore what are the main motivations of young people to follow influencers on social media. And according to the literature cited below, there are two main motivations of young people to follow influencers, and they are entertainment and inspiration. And makes sense in this interaction to explore what kind of relationship exists between sports. And according to the authors, there is no friendship between influencers and their followers, because a friendship needs a reciprocal complicity that doesn't exist here. So they have a decent relationship on social media. Next, it's important to know more about what is an influencer, what is this concept. And an influencer is a specialist in a given area who produces content for their niche, which can be beauty, lifestyle, whatever, and win the trust of their community to continue to do this kind of content. And in fact, nowadays makes sense to look to them as transmitters of information, because they are one of the main characters on social media nowadays, and it's available to look to them to sources of information. If we talk about information, we have to talk about fake news and how we can combat them. It's an interesting topic, and the theoretical framework sources two ways we can find to do this, to combat fake news, to avoid fake news on social media. And the first one is encourage information literacy so that people can know more about how networks work. And the second one is encourage and trust more in AI, artificial intelligence. So although it can't replace human intuition, it's capable of detecting false information schemes, which is great for this research. Finish the theoretical research, we're moving on to the methodology of this research, and we are talking about a data collection instrument that is a survey, online questionnaire, therefore a quantitative approach. This survey was active for 1 month, 4 weeks, and the sample achieved has 322 respondents, and the population of this study was young Portuguese people aged between 18 and 30 years old. To define the sample, we start with the socio-demographic data, and we start with the age, and there is a clear emphasis on the 18 and 24 years old, as we can see in this graphic. We're moving on for the gender, there is a clear emphasis on the females. Looking at professional status, there is a clear majority of students, followed by the workers. Looking at academic qualifications, we have a majority of bachelor's degree students, followed by master's degree students and those with completed master's degree. And finally, the main area of activity of the sample who respond to this survey is communication and technologies. Having finished characterizing this sample, we're moving on to a more in-depth analysis of the data. And one of the first results of this study was that social networks, social media, was the medium of choice of the sample to consume information. Although they don't recognize social media as the most credible medium to consume information. However, television is presented by the most credible medium to consume information, but the sample assumes that it fails to keep up and follow the young people desires and consumption habits, which makes sense nowadays. Among the total sample of 322 respondents, 305 says they are social media users with a preference in Instagram, TikTok, and WhatsApp. And from here, we're moving on to the analyze that most interests on this research, which is analyzed of the medium of the data, of people who are followers of influencers on social media. So in a total sample of 322 respondents, 235 respondents are followers of influencers in social media. And there is a clear highlights in this group for human and students in the followers of influencers with a preference in the area of activity or a niche that is a lifestyle. The results show two more reasons for young people, two more motivations for young people to follow influencers on social media. According to the literature, we say entertainment and inspiration, and this research plus search for positive content and fun. As for the relationship between young people and influencers, the data shows that the higher the level of education of young people, of the sample, the less they think they are friends of influencers, and the older they are and the more educated they are, the young people, the less they believe that the credibility of the influencers is proportional to their number of followers, which makes sense if we think about it. And still on the relationship between the parts, it can be concluded that the higher the level of education, the more young people consider influencers with a background in politics to be more credible in their approach to the subject than those without this formation in politics. Even so, the results don't show that sample young people reveal and consider that influencers are good sources of information. So they choose social media as the medium of choice to consume information. They assume that influencers are main characters on social media and they follow social media influencers on social media, but they don't say clearly that influencers are good sources of information, but they are sources of information is unclear, very clear. Regarding the concept of opinion leadership, young people show more distance from this concept, and their position is a little bit unclear about it. Even so, they say they agree with two main characteristics of an opinion leader. So, first one, being active in an online community, the influencers, and second one, young people, they having already been concerned about a topical issue because influencers that they follow on social media have addressed it. In order to conclude, we have to answer to the research question, obviously. And the main conclusions of the study are that influencers play an important role in the disseminating information and the life of young people, but their impact on young people's lives depends of the type of the content they make on social media, influencers, and the credibility perceived by young people that they have on social networks. In addition, the perception of influencers as opinion leaders is not, as I said, not yet fully consolidated among young people due to an apparent lack of awareness about the concept. What's more, this study highlights the need for a greater digital literacy so that young people and people in general can critically analyze social media information from social networks and have a greater experience there. And that's it. There is the references. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Sir and ma'am, do you have any questions?
Okay. Thank you very much for your presentation. I have a question. In abstract, you mentioned a woman and a student as one who influences the most. The relationship between influencers and who is not one of relationship. I think this part is very interesting. Please explain this part in a little more detail.
Can you repeat the question? Sorry, I don't understand.
Okay. In abstract, you mentioned a woman and a student as one who influences the most. The relationship between influencers and who is not one of friendship. I think this part is very interesting. Please explain this part in detail.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah. You students are the main followers of influencers in this research, but they are no friends because there is no complicity here. Okay. There is a unilateral relationship. The young people can think that they are more close to the influencers that they follow, but it's not reciprocal, as the literature say. The research says that the young people with lower education and older or age with 30, I think that they are no friends of influencers. It reveals a majority sense of experience of life.
Yes. This result is very interesting. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Sir, do you have any questions?
No further questions from my side. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. So we'll be moving on to the next presentation. Next, we have Con Prompt to present the paper titled Unveiling Animal Emotions, a Deep Learning Approach with Explainable AI for Emotion Detection. Are you there?
Yes, please. I'm here.
You may please begin with your presentation.
Okay, yes. Wait a second, please.
Yeah, we can see your screen. You may please begin.
Okay, sure. Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Konpom Kunkao from Department of Computer Science, Faculty of Science, Chiang Mai University, Thailand. Today, I will present you about unveiling animal emotion, a deep learning approach with explainable AI for emotion detection. First, we will talk about the agenda. It consists of introduction, methodology and results, discussion, and finally conclusion. First, we will talk about introduction first. I think it's very important of understanding animal emotion because when we understanding animal emotion is essential for improved welfare, strengthening between human and animal relationship, and advanced scientific research. Animal explain emotion like joy, fear, or strength, and sometimes we can recognize this state around for human to better care, training, and intervention to your animal. About the contribution of research, we try to introduce a novel application of deep learning in animal emotion detection. Moreover, we try to enhance model transparency to GradCam. GradCam is one of the explainable AI that I will talk about it later. About objective of the research, we try to develop a deep learning model to classify dog emotion. And we try to implement explainable AI technique to interpret model for decision making. And finally, we will evaluate model performance and propose future improvements. Okay, and what about the benefits of this research? I think I try to support early detection of emotion state in animal, and maybe we can help the veterinarians to watch over animal who in some cases request 24-hour monitoring, which contribute to STAN. Okay, about the scope of the study, this is like a preliminary research, so we can focus on dog and that emotional state. For emotion, classify such as angry, happy, related, and sad. Next, we try to implement deep learning model such as effectiveness, mobileness, or RedNet 50 for emotion classification. And we used GradCam to provide virtual explanation for model prediction. To be clear, we only focus on image-based emotion detection without incorporate other module like audio or physiological signals. About methodology and results, in this research, we divided into 4 phases. First, pre-processing, next processing, next processing, and finally in the evaluation process. The first one, we work with the pre-processing process, right? We got the data from the tech for animal lab datasets that is have almost 50,000 images categorized into 4 emotions, such as angry, joyful, relaxed, and sad. And after that, we try to normalize the image to be the same standard, such as reduce the biasness, resize our image to 384 trust 384 pixels to be the same standard. And after that, we apply data augmentation, like rotation, flipping, shipping, or something like that to increase our data set to almost 18,000 images. And this is the example of tech for animal database. You can see in this picture, it have almost 50,000 images, which are for emotion. I will show you the emotion of the dog that I use it. The first one is reluctant, right? You can see in this picture. Okay, and the next one is sad. You can see in this picture. Okay, the next one is happy, something like this, and the last one is angry. Okay, I think it's this card is very easy to classify, right? Okay, for summarize, in the first one, we gather and processing animal data. We collect the data by recording behavior to video and audio. So we got the sequential image. And after that, we try to annotation using labeling emotion expression by the expert. And after that, we try to clean the noise data or outlier and formatting the data for the AI. And finally, we use feature extraction to select key emotional indicator in the data. Okay, in the phase two, the data will be processed using deep learning. We utilize a convolutional neural network or CNN to separate animal emotion from the data. And in the future, we will try to apply recurrent neural network or INN to understand temporal change in behavior, because sometimes animal can rapid change their behavior. So I think it will be helped a lot in the future. Or maybe we can use the hybrid model that combine approach for heuristic detection. Okay, in our work, we use 80% of image for training and 30% for testing. We processing on the CPU Intel i7 with RAM DDR4 32 GB, and the optimizer is Adam with an initiate learning rate of 0.001 and a batch size of 128. Training took place over 50 acres with a late stop to avoid overfitting. About pre-trained model, we use the first one we use ReNet 50 because it can robust into the image classification problem, and another one is effectiveness. I think everyone knows it's already always balance the accuracy and the efficiency. And the last one is MobileNet. MobileNet can optimize for resource efficiency, and if we have a low resource, it will suitable a lot. The next, why we need to use the explainable AI. I think long time we didn't know what about the processing of deep learning. It's like a black box, right? So if we can use the explainable AI, it can help veterinarian to understand the process, and it can show up transparency, trust, and insight of the data. And this is, we will talk about the GradCam. We use one of the explainable AI that we call gradient weather card activation mapping or GradCam. We try to visualization highlight important image region, and it can help us to interpret how and why the model classification emotion. You can see in this picture. Okay, and in the future work, we plan to use advanced explainable AI, like alarms, local interpretable model explanation, or Shapley additive explanation. Okay, and the first we test an integrated system. Let me show you the result of our work. You can see the left one is the happy card, right? The confidence level is 96.32%, while the right picture is the sad. Confidence level is 98.74%. And this is another example of the elected accuracy up to 99%. And another one is angry. Accuracy is up to 99%. And another sample of the set card and related. You can see in this picture. Okay, next, in fact, we need to evaluation process, right? I think it's very important in the research. So we invite an expert from the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine to evaluate the system. And this is our confusion metric. You can see in this picture, in many cases, empirical data is the only method to determine a model reliable and precision. Hence, accuracy, advanced score, and recall must to be considered through the testing procedure. So we use variant by size, time periods, and classification criteria. We validate the efficiency of our system in our research. For model comparison, you can see effectiveness is better in this tab compared with other two models, and it has both higher accuracy and smaller distance. The main reason should be that the compound scaling method help balance the network depth, width, and resolution. The combination of which make it more likely for better performance.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you have 2 minutes to conclude your presentation.
Okay, thank you. Finally, about GATCAM result, we got a facial line, eyes, and mouth, a key indicator for emotion classification. And the challenge of this is that I think it's very hard to separate between angry and sad emotion. And maybe data set need explanation for improved generalization. And in the future work, we will try to use 3D deep learning for better spiral analysis and implement like a RAM or SHARP. So conclusion, we use the input data from the text for animal data sets and we processing using deep learning. And finally, we got the output like emotion of the animal. And this is our team. And this is reference. Thank you for your time. If you have any question or suggestion, please feel free to ask me. Thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am, do you have any
Yes.
questions?
Yes, I have a question comment. Thank you very much for your nice presentation. Your deep learning approach is very interesting to detect animals' emotions. I usually adopt a similar approach to understand values or land cover using satellite images. And I have a question. And why did you select dogs rather than other animals?
Oh, okay, I see. Actually,
Very simple question.
Okay. Actually, I use FACS system. It's come for
Yes,
facial
yes,
action quality
CNN
system, right?
approach.
And we
Yes.
can see the muscle memory in the animal, and we use the equation to calculate the emotion of the animal, something like that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
Yeah. Hello, I have a question as well. First of all, very nice presentation. My question is that why particularly choose explainable AI? Since we have so many variations of AI right now, we have responsible AI and other, responsive AI, generative AI, different types of AIs are already available. Why choose particularly explainable AI? Apart from the transparency about the explanation or anything else, was there any particular reason to pick that?
Thank you for the question, Professor. I think actually generative AI is very popular nowadays, right? And we can use generative AI to explain the model. But I think in expert AI is the backbone of that is a mathematical. So I think when we try to understand the process or let the people understand the background, I think expert AI is still really important for us. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, another is that you have mentioned that you did not use explainable AI such as Shape or Lime in your study, but they are quite popular. Was there any particular reason why you did not include them in your study?
Actually, we don't have time to experiment it yet, but but it will be plan of our future works to work on it.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, we'll be ending this session. I sincerely thank our authors for their excellent presentations and contribution in this session, and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope this session was informative enough. We, on the behalf of the whole team, thank you for your support during the 10th version and all the previous 9 versions of the conference. We will be happy to have you in the 11th version in 2026 as well. All the presenters would be getting their digital certificates through email within 2 working days. Further, all the papers have already been forwarded to the printer. The publication will be live within 6 months. Kindly cooperate with the team of ICICT 2025. Before ending this session, I would also like to thank our session chair, Professor Kayoke Yamamoto, for chairing this session. Ma'am,
Thank you. Thank
ma'am, would you
you.
please
Yes,
like to
I'm
share
here. Okay,
a
thank
closing
you.
remark?
As we come to the close of this informative sessions, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to all our presenters for their valuable contributions. Your research and insights have provided
Thank
us
you so
with
much.
a deeper understanding of this academic field. I would also like to thank our audience for the active participants and thoughtful questions. Your engagement has greatly enriched our discussion. In conclusion, let us take the knowledge and the ideas shared today and apply them in our respective research to further advance our work. We look forward to further collaboration and continued progress in this academic field. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This is a token of appreciation on the behalf of the whole team. I would also like to thank our session chair, Dr. Sayan Chakrabarti, for chairing this session. So, would you like to share a quick closing remark with us?
Yeah, thank you to ICICT. I have been associated with the conference for last 3 years, and I must say that this year's in this specifically in this session, the thoughts and the research papers shared by the authors were quite. I mean, it was quite exciting to see some of the tremendous work coming up in this session. And I'd like to thank as well, like every year, Amit sir, Nilanjan sir, and Simon for inviting me to the session, and all the organizers of ICICT and GR Foundation. And last but not the least, thank you, Angshika, for hosting the session wonderfully. Thank
Thank
you,
you
and have a
so
nice
much.
day, everyone.
This is a token of appreciation on the behalf of whole team of ICTI 2025 and Global Knowledge Research Foundation and partners. I kindly request everyone to please turn on their cameras for a quick snapshot. Everyone kindly turn on your cameras for a quick snapshot. Thank you so much for your valuable presence. Take care, stay safe. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And thank you. See you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.